Hey, real fam. It is definitely a good day to have a good day. Welcome to the real fam. Welcome to the midday glory with myself and Tabby. I have a quick question for you. Have you ever been rejected in your life? If you have, can you just comment and say, I have been rejected? And you can even share with us how you overcame rejection. Or if you still struggling from it, you can just say, I experienced it. All right. So on today's video, I want us to talk about rejection, how rejection can really take away certain things in your life in terms of, allowing you to have so much fear, stopping you from even doing the most with your life just because at some point in your life you were rejected. So I want us to speak about how you can even go to an extent of overcoming rejection. Now, rejection in life is something that like almost everyone goes through it. Getting rejected it's something that is normal because think about it this way. You get rejected because you probably don't have certain qualities, or there are certain things that you don't meet. There are certain requirements that you don't meet. Now, this is an example of maybe, let's say, employment. You get rejected from employment, right? So there could be many reasons to it. Some are good, some are bad. Now, we're going to break down some of the good and some of the bad, right? And I'm going to share my story. So I'll firstly share my story as to how I overcame rejection. So when did I start, or when was the first time I experienced rejection? I think that should be the first question, right? So when I got rejected the first time, this was when I was like when I dropped out from the first university that I went to, and I decided to go to a different university, right? So when I got to that new university, what happened was I was obviously expected to apply again for whatever course that I wanted to do. I applied for the course, and after applying, after a couple of days, I went back to check if I was taken or enrolled for that particular course. When I got to the ICT department, I saw my name on the rejection list. I saw my name in the rejection list, which means that I was rejected to be part of that class, or I mean, part of that course. So I wasn't taken for that course. It immediately broke my heart, of course. But at the same time, I was like, no, I'm not going to allow this. And I said I wasn't going to allow it because I knew exactly that I've got more than just one reason why I actually qualified to be enrolled in that particular course, right? And instead of me giving up immediately, because I remember we were outside, and mind you, I had applied a little bit late, which is another thing that I wish we could take a note of as individuals to say it's important for you to do things well in advance. Do not wait until it's too late and all that. Try by all means to make sure that you do things well in advance. So my application was kind of late. But now, okay, what that meant was that if I'm not taken, chances are it's already too late for me to even try other universities, because classes are about to start and you are not yet registered. You get my point? You'll just have to wait for next semester. So meaning for the first 6 months, what are you going to do? So those were the things that were happening. But now let me take you back to this incident, right? So what happened was I was sitting outside. Actually, no, we were waiting outside the door. So that's where the list of acceptance and rejection was. And there were two other ladies with me. And I think these two other ladies, I don't know if one came with the other or both of them were actually checking. But I remember this other one talking, because as I was looking in and seeing my name on the rejection list, I was like, no, I'm gonna query this, because there's no way that I can be rejected. I have more than one reason to believe that I qualify to be accepted for this course. And the lady at the back kept on saying that, you know what, I'm just gonna go and look for just this 3 months courses and everything, because what can I do? Like, and then like she was going like as in, it doesn't matter. Like, what's the point? Basically, that's what she was saying. It's like, why am I even bothering? What's the point of me even bothering? Because I'm not accepted. So right there and there, she was already giving up. She was already giving up and not even willing to query as to why I got rejected, so that even if they give her a valid response to say, we rejected you because you didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that was the case, then, or if maybe they were able to even give her a valid reason, that could have obviously been a solution in terms of helping her to move to the next point with a clear understanding of how she should navigate around whatever course she wants to do and all that. But instead, she was already saying, it's fine, they didn't take me, whatever, I'll go find something else or a short course or whatever. So when you're rejected, and it's the same thing as you applying for a job. When you apply for a job and you get rejected, if you are having a good communication with whoever is recruiting you or the company person, whatever, try to find out, like, okay, so why was I rejected? Why didn't I get the position? So that you have an idea of why you actually were not considered, right? So that is the most important point that you can take into account. I believe that it's actually good if you have an idea of why certain things happen, unlike just you walking out and continuing with your life as if, you know, everything is fine. And yet, that particular thing that was stopping you from actually getting whatever that thing was, it's bothering you for every day in your life. It's like you have insecurities, you have this fear of being rejected and all that, because you never dealt with that part. You never tried to make sure that you close that chapter by finding out exactly why is it that things happen the way they're happening, right? So that is something that you should have like taken account, or you should consider taking into account. That is the most important thing about you moving past certain things that happened in your life. All right. Now, when you get rejected, when I then queried with the university, actually, I even got the MD to actually relook or check my results again and everything. And when that MD checked it, was it an MD? Yeah, actually the head of ICT. When she checked my credentials, when she checked my results and my application, guess what? She realized that actually this person has to be credited most of the subjects that she did. So remember, I did believe in me that I actually deserve to be admitted on this course because I knew certain things that I did right. Okay, and I was not willing to give up that battle. There are battles that you can give up on, but there are battles that you, when you know for sure that this is something that needs to happen, you will not just give up like that. When you believe in something, you will not just give up like that. So I even got to be credited most of my subjects. I believe that for the first year, I was just left with probably one or two modules that I had to do. The rest of my first year modules were credited because I was from a as a different university, and at that university, I was doing a similar course, even though the specializations were different. But some of the courses were the same. So I got credited. And the student assistants, people that were actually those that rejected my application, they were standing there and they were like ashamed because like clearly they didn't even know what was happening, or they just decided, you know what, this person doesn't qualify and all that. And luckily for me, my perseverance and not allowing that rejection to get into me feeling sad or feeling sorry for myself and wanting to give up or going to another option without actually finding out the root of why that thing has happened. You know, chances are I could have regretted. So now this is now where what rejection leads to regret. So if, for example, you are rejected, and then you dwell much on that rejection, and you live your life with this concept that I've been rejected, I'm always rejected, I'm not going to do this because what if I get rejected? So it means that that will lead you to regrets. And when you have regrets in your life, what that means is that you will not in any way have, you know, a clearer indication as to how things are going to happen tomorrow, how you're going to move past whatever that was happening. All right. So it's important to understand that rejection is not always bad. Rejection is not always bad. All right. Now, there's someone who can say that, okay, I got rejected. Okay, before I maybe make a scenario about someone else, let me tell you about my second incident when I was rejected. So the second time around when I was rejected, now this time I wasn't in tertiary. I was actually I was still in tertiary. I was doing my final year. I think, come to think of it, I was doing my practicals, the last, or my in-service training. Yeah. I was doing my in-service training. And I went to this company. Should I mention a name? Prime Media. If you don't hear the name, I don't know. So that was the company name. I went to an interview at Prime Media. And this is not me trying to maybe speak bad about Prime Media and everything, but obviously I'm just sharing. Obviously, every company would put out a post and then you can apply, so there's nothing wrong. So I went to Prime Media, and the post was for, I think, a web designer. I think it was a web or front end designer. I don't remember. Yeah, either it was a web designer or a front end designer. So I applied for that job and I went to the first interview. And you know something about, graduating from university or just being in the process of graduating, you picture yourself working in a company, you picture yourself just being in that space and living your dream, and just bettering your life by showcasing what you know, the skills that you have, and at the same time benefiting from that, which is you getting paid, and your life improves and all that. So I already had that excitement when I was going to that interview. So I kept going to interviews. So Prime Media was in Sandton, or is still in Sandton. Yes, it's still in Sandton. So I went there the first time around. I got an interview and I passed the first interview. Yay, I was excited. And of course, something about IT or web development, web design positions and everything, most of the time it's not just a once off interview and then they make a decision. Usually the assessments that you have to do. So I passed the first interview, and then the second interview, I was asked to do an assessment. I went back, I did an assessment, and then after doing that, a couple of days, or was it a week or something like that? I then got a call to say, okay, you have passed your second interview. You need to come to the third interview. Mind you, this is the same position. I went to that interview like, yeah, so I went the third time. I went the third time, and the third time around, I got to meet up with what I think it someone who was specifically focused on that particular field. I think it was a manager or something like that. And we had some kind of a brief interview again, and then I had to do another assessment. Okay, great stuff. Now this was now the third time around, right? So the fourth time around, when I was called, I was like, no, this job is mine. That's where I was. I was like, this job is mine. I was sure that this job was mine because how can one company call me for next third interview after I've done assessments and everything? I was already sure. I was sure that the fourth time around when I go, after that interview, I'm just gonna get a contract and say, listen, this is your contract. Are you signing it or what? That's what I thought. So the fourth one was with the, I think, was it the head of that department or something like that? I assume so. Yeah, if I can remember vividly. Yeah, I think it was the head of that particular, head of marketing or head of, yeah, I think it was head of marketing or something like that. So we had an interview, and it was a nice, friendly interview where it wasn't that hectic, like obviously the first, second, and all that. It was very relaxed. It was a lady even, and she was even engaging me, finding out where I'm from, my interest, and all of that, and what I'm passionate about, and all that. So right there, I was like selling myself even twice as much. And I was sure, and it was a great interview. Like, it was great. I was sure that I actually got the job. I was sure that this job is mine. Then I left and I waited a week. I waited the next week. That week, I think, or was it 2 weeks? Between the second to the third week, I received a, was it a call or email? No, I think it was an email. We regret to inform you that you did not get this position. I was shattered because I had already pictured myself in that company. I had already started planning a couple of things that I want to do. So now, when that happened, it was painful. I mean, I was pained by the fact that I didn't get that job and everything. But I then later realized that, you know what? Probably I was competing with someone else, because something about an interview is that it could be two of you guys that are actually the best, that are amazing in what you're doing. And it could be because you were not or maybe you were lacking one qualification or something, one skill that this other one had, or you guys were just competing. That's why they had to bring you the third time, the fourth time, so that they can actually decide. Probably it was difficult for them to decide as well. That's what I believe. That's what I like to think, because how else can I explain it? Because obviously, when you hire someone with an intention of obviously making sure that they get a job. I mean, they meet all the requirements. So I mean, that's that. But it's painful not having to be taken, and especially because I felt like all those interviews were giving me so much hope, and they were assuring me that no, you know what, some of this, the third and the fourth interview is just a formality, but already I got this position. And now, which is also another thing, a danger, well, not a danger, but it can be a downside for us as individuals, to say, when you have too much expectations of something, or when you somehow look at a situation and think or picture it in a certain way, sometimes it's not always the case. It's not that way. It's not the way that you think it is. All right. So take note of that point. Take note of that point. Now, how did I overcome rejection? So the experience of going to those interviews made me realize the best thing about having to go through that, especially as a an undergraduate who is about to go to employment. Meaning, I got so much opportunities to practice in terms of preparing for interviews, knowing the kind of questions they ask, knowing the things or the level of skills that I need to have for me to qualify to be in a position or in a particular job. So it wasn't all bad. I took out the nicest part about it, which is the part where I benefited in terms of um, developing my confidence and being able to, sell myself better in an interview. Maybe at the time I didn't do my best, but obviously I would look at the fact that I got rejected on that one, and I would remember how I performed on that particular interview and try to better it as I go. So that was the advantage that I took out of it. So my point is, do not allow rejection to lead you into regret, because if you are rejected and then you start regretting, then you have a high chance of losing out on what you could focus on and what you could concentrate or give your time and attention to, so that you can get somewhere. So rejection is not all bad, and rejection somehow has to inspire you to keep trying, to keep trying. And the world that we live in, we are competing at some point. If we are applying for the same job, it means that there's a competition. If you don't know something else and I know it, it means that I am beating you somehow. And who's most likely to be taken? You or me, whoever is who knows better or who has more experience, right? So those are some of the things that you have to take note of when it comes to rejection. Now, there's someone who's here probably saying, Tabi, I've been rejected in my relationships. I've been with someone who I loved so much, who we were in love. The next thing, they decided to wake up and say, I don't want you in my life anymore. I don't think you and I are compatible anymore. I don't think you and I, can be together anymore. I don't think you and I can continue with this. I don't think you and I are a match, even after years of being together. And that person decides to say, you know what, I'm going to leave you. After years of being with them, probably you have kids, and yeah, you have just invested so much of your time and effort with this person, and you have given yourself to this person. And they say to you, we are just not clicking anymore. So I'm going to leave you. So it is some kind of form of, it's some kind of rejection. It's a form of rejection, because when a person says, I'm just going to leave you and everything, it means like they're rejecting you, right? That's what they're doing. It's like they're turning the back on you and all that. And of course, there can be many reasons as to why people do things and everything. And now, after this happens, and then this person decides to meet up with someone else or to meet with you. And after a year of being together with that person, they marry you, and you are there, left out, rejected, and you've been with this person for many years, but nothing, not even a word of, I'm going to marry you. You've got 2 or 3 kids already. This person didn't marry you. He goes and meets someone else, and they get married within a year of being together, when you and him were together for the longest time. So what does that say? Now, that might be very painful to experience. And if you've experienced something like that, and I really cannot relate much on that aspect, because I don't think I've experienced it. So it's always good when someone has been through something to be able to actually be the ones that would tell the story better. But I can just somehow speak from my knowledge or level of maturity that I think I have, and I stand to be corrected by someone who has experienced something. Because I always say this, that when it comes to relationship and whatnot, I'm not an expert, and I can only speak for my relationship. I can only speak for myself, my heart. It's, I see relationship coaches and all that. I see that they do that and everything. They know better how to do it, and I would honestly leave that out to them. But one thing that I think I know is that the heart knows what it wants, and the heart knows the truth. That is how I feel. So I guess experts in this field would know how to deal with something. All right. Now, imagine being rejected like that, and now you need to move past that, and you need to now be in a new relationship, be with someone else, be with, or move into a new relationship and everything. Because you are holding on to that rejection, you now have the fear. So what that rejection has done, it has developed fear in you. The fear of being rejected again, the fear of losing something special again, the fear of investing time and effort and giving your all to something that tomorrow you will lose. So that's the fear that I'm talking about. Now, what I'm going to ask you right now, would you choose rejection, or would you choose to regret for the rest of your life? Would you choose rejection, or would you choose to regret for the rest of your life? Mainly because you were holding on to something that someone did. You were holding on to a rejection that happened in your life that was painful and all that. And it held you back from achieving something else or getting something better. And what if rejection actually means that what I'm rejecting you from means that there is something better for you? I mean, let's have a different look at this. Imagine being rejected by a very big company or a good company, and then you go to them to say, okay, I want this job, or there's a job you applied and everything, and they reject you before you can even be there, and they tell you that you're overqualified, we cannot afford you. Don't you think that's a good reaction? I mean, rejection? I think that's a good rejection, because it means that there's something better waiting for you. There's something better coming for you. So that's why I want us to have a different look at rejection, to say, maybe the fact that you got rejected means that there's something greater that is waiting for you. There's something better. And that rejection does not mean it's the end of the world, it's the end of the day, it's the end of your life. And what that basically means is that do not focus your attention more on that rejection or what didn't happen right. Instead, shift your focus, shift your mindset, and focus on bettering yourself or just getting over that. Now, one would say, how do I just get over being rejected by the father of my kids? How can I just get over being rejected by the company that I was always looking forward to work for? Unfortunately, these are not answers that I can give you. But what I can tell you is that the reality of life is that what you wish for yourself sometimes is not what God wishes for you. What you want for yourself, as much as you can pray for it, if God wants something different for you, He will give you something different from what you want. So now, rejection is not all bad. Don't always look at rejection in a bad way. Don't always look at rejection as something that is out there to just stop you from progressing, to stop you from just being the best version of yourself. Understand that it is not all bad. At some point in your life, you will see how it was actually a need for that particular thing to happen. When I got rejected from Prime Media after going to 4 interviews, the fifth time when I'm waiting for a call to say, okay, you got the job, when I got a rejection note to say, we regret to tell you that you didn't get this job. I could have decided that I'm no longer going to apply for jobs anymore because it leads me to believing that I'm probably going to get this opportunity, but I don't get it. Instead, I looked at it as something that can teach me to be able to actually work on myself and do better. Work on myself and do better and better my ability to progress into something and better my interview skills or even how I question or answer or respond to things. So when I got rejected, when I went to the next university after dropping out, when they rejected me, even after I've done so many subjects and everything, I could have just decided to just let it go and either decide I'm no longer going to go to university. I'm going to give up, go look for a job without a qualification. But instead, I believed in myself enough to say, I can see that I'm rejected. It's painful. I don't like that. But what do I believe? Do I know my worth? Do I know what I'm more capable of doing? So when I got rejected at TUT for my first year, I could have left and gave up immediately, but instead I wanted to even speak to the head, and the head was able to sit down with me. I had the patience to wait while the staff members, the student assistants were out there having lunch. They were sitting by the door there having lunch, and mind you, at the time, guys, you know, I'm not crying because this is painful, but I'm crying because I don't wish for it to happen to anyone, but there was a point in time where I was waiting there. I was so hungry. I didn't even have money for lunch. I was so hungry, and I said, they were like, go for lunch and then you will come back. I could see them walking in, the student assistants, lecturers walking into the staff offices with their food. This food was smelling great, and I was hungry at the time. But I said I was not going to leave this corridor because what happens is that when you apply, the queue gets to be long. So people go for lunch, and I was like, I'm not going to go anyway. I'm going to sit here until I get someone to help me. And I sat there hungry as I was because I wanted something bigger for myself, better for my life. I wanted something that will help me to get out of not being able to have money to even buy myself lunch. Hungry as I was, my stomach was crumbling. I stood there and I waited. And I remember one guy was, I even remember his name, Shona. Shona was saying, go for lunch, you'll come back. And I said, no, I'll wait. It's okay. I'll wait. I'll wait. And I waited. Immediately after lunch, they attended to me. And I sat down with the head of department. She managed to even help me to get accreditations. So what I'm trying to say is that how we look at life sometimes is not how we're supposed to, and how we respond to life, it's not how we're supposed to sometimes, because we are willing to give up on ourselves because we think the world is out there to get us, when we are ourselves are our biggest enemy or our biggest downfall. We allow ourselves to go through things because we feel like we the world like we feel like the world owes us something. I hope that you're getting me. So we feel like the world owes us something, and you expect the world to just make things happen for you. You feel like you don't need to try hard, or you don't even need to even sit there and wait for even 3 hours of just being hungry, sacrificing the fact that you are hungry just so that you can just get something done. How many of us have been rejected and just left out that particular thing without understanding why it happened, how it happened, and what has to happen next? And then you lived your life, you started living your life, and you are busy living your life right now, but your life is not actually going according to order because you are living with fear of being rejected by an incident that happened to you in 2008, 2009, when you were starting university. You can't get a great job because you decided to drop out and go to a fly by night college where you got a certificate that is not even used, like it's useless because it was a fly by night, but you opted for an easier option. How many times in our lives have we tried to opt for a quicker way or a quick fix, to opt for an easier route as opposed to taking the long, hard route? I mean, I had to take that long, hard route. I could have easily said, okay, stuff you guys, I'm gone. I'm going to go find another place, take my money somewhere else. But I knew exactly what I wanted, and I knew exactly where I needed to be. And it also brings this question to say, do you even know who you are, what you want? Do you even know your worth? Do you even know what you're capable of, so that when someone comes to you and rejects you, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's employment, whether it's a business opportunity and all that, do you believe in yourself enough to say, as much as you reject me and everything, I am not a failure, or I am not bad. Maybe you're rejecting me because one, two, three, but this does not mean that my journey ends here. As a matter of fact, my journey begins here. This is the beginning of more greater things. Maybe at the time you wanted to partner with a business or a company so that you can somehow get your way in or navigate yourself through employment or studying business or whatever. And not knowing that that rejection actually helped you to even just start on your own, not to partner, because the fact that you're partnering, it means that 50% or 40% of your work or your money would have to go to this particular business that you needed help from, so that they can boost your presence and everything. It's the same thing as us on YouTube. Imagine if I had to approach maybe a big YouTuber or someone who's doing well, and approach them in the right manner to say, can I do a collaboration with you on your YouTube channel? And then they reject you and say, no, you can't do that. And then you just go and maybe start your own show start with, your 200 subscribers. Start your own show and build your own audience, because obviously collaborating, you are hoping that it can reach out more people. What if it's an opportunity for you to just start something for yourself, and to see it grow and see it what develop into something bigger, something greater, where else you are waiting for someone else who has such a picture of life and everything. What if you go to that person who has less than 100 subscribers, or lesser subscribers than you have, and go to them and collaborate with them? What if that video will just blow up and get you guys more audience, and help you guys even, develop something great, or even come up with a great collaboration that will probably end up being a show? What if that's the case? That's what I'm asking you right now. Okay, let me pause and read your comments. That got a little bit deep right there. It got a little bit deep. Laquita says rejection at work and school and groups are places to be rejected and left out also. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I think the other day I was watching a video. I think it was a TED Talk, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the person who was talking about it was that he was saying that he got rejected when he was at third grade. And at third grade, I think he's a black guy. He went to a white school. And obviously his English was good. So he would be, I think he was the first guy or something, first black guy there or something. I don't remember exactly. So a group of white boys were just standing there talking, and then they were laughing. And he was just a friendly boy who just had interest to engage with other people. And then he went to ask, okay, what are you guys laughing? What are you guys laughing about and everything? And they turned around and they'll be like, the joke is on you, because you are the black guy trapped in the white man's body. I don't know, something like that. So they said something a little bit negative, because the fact that he was fluently speaking English, yet he was black, so there was a little bit of a racism there. So that obviously caught up with him, and it grew and grew, until of course he got over it. Right now, I mean, at schools, I think a lot of times the rejection that happens, like Peter, is when, for example, you like, especially I'll make an example as girls. You'll feel like there's a group of girls that you want to hang out with, and they would reject you because you probably don't wear the shortest tunic, or the shortest school uniform, or your hairstyle is not similar to theirs and everything. And that can actually help make you lose confidence or have low self-esteem, because you are rejected by these people. And now it's also a question of, do you think that if you don't look like they do, it means that you are not a better person, or you are not better looking, or you are not great? So it's that thing. And unfortunately or sadly, what happens is that other people grow up with that problem, because it's like they grow up having low self-esteem, or they grow up feeling like they need to have makeup, they need to have good hair, they need to have the nicest clothes, they need to have just things, material things, so that they can be appreciated and not being rejected in life. So now I'm hoping, I pray and hope that this video gets to reach, a young person out there who still believes that she needs to fit in to a specific category of people, the so-called it girls, it boys. Even if you're a guy, I'm hoping that this video could reach you, and you can actually realize that there are certain things in life that you do not need. And the fact that those people were rejecting you was probably the best thing ever, because it could have distracted you from focusing in school. It could have distracted you from bettering your life in terms of focusing on what you needed to do. It could have distracted you and left you pregnant. And because you were hanging out with this crew that loves boys and all of that, and they were smart enough not to probably sleep with boys, they can even make you do things because you feel like you need to fit in. The fact that you want to fit in, they can say, you know how, school, I mean, the fact that we've all went to school, we know the experiences there, that there will be parties, proms, whatever. And then there'll be a challenge to say, sleep with that guy. If you sleep with that guy, you will, be the head of our team, or it means that you will qualify to be part of the squad, gang, whatever, and all that. And then you get to do that. And then the next thing, the joke is on you because you did something and you thought that it was the right thing to do. You believed that it is what will help you not to be rejected, only to find that the joke is on you. You get to find out that you were forced into doing something, and none of those people even did that. So you are allowing other people to basically control your life or tell you how you should live your life. So my advice is, let's all try to find a space where we heal from the past. We heal from those rejections that were there, but now to also change the narrative or change how we look at things. So even if you can revisit your younger self with your older mindset, if that makes sense. Visit your younger self with your older mindset, so that when you visit your younger self and you realize this situation that was happening, use your older mindset to say, okay, this is what is happening. This is what you could have done. This is what I think of it. And move past that. Move past that. All right. Thank you for that point, Laquita. Rejection includes experience, so at least I have something I've learned along the way. Exactly, most definitely. Rejection has experiences because, um, like I said, rejection is not all bad. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it sucks to be rejected. Because sometimes you give it your all, you give your all, and still you get rejected. You put out your best and still you get rejected. So it's not something great to experience. But now imagine if you had to dwell on that rejection. That means that you will be leading yourself into what? Leading yourself into what? Into not achieving something, or you having regrets because you are holding on to that rejection. So rejection is not all bad. The experiences that come with it can actually help you to even know how to deal with your next step on your next journey of life, or something else for that matter. So don't let's have a different look at it. There is something that you learn along the way. There is something, not even one. I mean, there's more that you learn from it. And I think also the fact that I got rejected the first time as I was studying university, the fact that I got rejected again when I started looking for employment, it's probably one of the reasons why I was even able to even handle it better, because the fact that I experienced this, I was able to now what? Maybe have a different perspective, even though it was painful at the time. But because I know that this is something that I've been through, but it never stopped me from going where I want to. So it was easier. So there's always a lesson to learn, indeed. Afternoon, real fam. Hey, Pindi, 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 Pindi. Thank you. Don't focus your mind on the rejection. Thank you, sis. Much appreciated, sis. Yes, don't focus your mind into rejection, because if you're gonna focus your mind into that, you miss out. You miss out on the best that you are capable of doing. You miss out on what you are best at, because rejection is like holding on to that thing that is not benefiting you in life. It's like looking back at the people that's, or someone that says, or that ex of yours who said, I don't want you in my life. and you keep looking back and you keep wanting to go back, and you know very well that it will end up in tears. So let us look at rejection as something that should help us to jump into a better step of life, to say, okay, the fact that I was rejected, probably this person doesn't see the value that I have, which is fine, but I know I'm more capable. So let it fuel us. Let's take advantage of rejection in a way that let it fuel us to even do twice as much, twice as better, because not everyone in this world is for you. Not everyone will like what you're doing. Not everyone will support what you're doing. Not everyone will agree with what you say and all that. So if you can understand that part first, you will know that rejection, when it comes, it will just come naturally, because not everyone is for you. Not everyone will subscribe to your channel. Not everyone will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Not everyone will watch your videos. Not everyone will watch my videos. And that's okay, because not everyone is for us. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It just happened. It just happened. I'm so sorry. You broke me today, but the fact that you sat there until someone helped you while you were hungry, I needed this today. This is encouraging. I love you. I love you more. Oh, my heart just pumped a little bit when I read I love you. I love you more, sis. I love you more. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so, so much. Sure, yeah. It also got to me there. Like I just got into a moment, and you know, because I had to tap. You know, when you speaking, when you're saying something, and when you're telling your own story, it's always great to tap back to that experience. So I was picturing myself at that very moment, and picturing whatever that was happening at the time. And as I was picturing it, even the smell of food, I could even, sense the smell of the food that was there, the can of cold drink as they are drinking and all that. And yet I'm there, it's blazing, the sun is blazing, but I'm saying, I am not giving up. I'm not. And you know what? I was there. I was, I was a mess at that time. I was a mess because the fact that I dropped out, it meant that my parents were like, okay, let's see what you can do next. We will just see you saying that you will do better. We're looking to see that. So I had to prove a point to myself and to my parents, and for me to heal from the fact that, ish, I dropped out. I mean, dropping out was like, dropping out was like it's you've done you've done the worst thing ever. If someone says I dropped out or someone dropped out, it's like you've done the biggest things in the world, and it's like the most bad thing ever. So you can imagine the tension, imagine the stress and the confusion that I was going through, and thinking that if I don't get to be enrolled here, it means that nothing great is going to come out of my life. Like, it was, I was a mess. I was a mess. But I'm glad that I had to go through that mess, because God gave me the ability to be in that mess and get out. I mean, take out something good out of that mess, which is what I'm grateful for, and I'm still grateful to today. And one thing that I want us to take note is that the experiences of our lives, our life journey, is really a part of us. It's that book that you're writing that will never be done. And I'm saying this because this is a book of life, basically, because the fact that you had or you had experienced something, what, 5 or 15 years ago, that is a book. So remember, when you're reading a book, there's no book next to me. So when you are reading a book, okay, this is the new journal that I got. I haven't used it, so don't be asking why it's empty. So if this is your book, there is the first page of your book. Let's assume that this is your childhood life. This is your childhood life. And then there is the middle of the book. Let's assume that this is your teenage life. And then there is almost, yeah, as you continue, that is your adult life. So now, when something happens or triggers something that happened in your past, what do? You go back, you go back to that chapter. So that's basically what happened to me right now. But the nicest thing about going back to that chapter is that you now realize that even certain things that are happening to you right now, how you respond to certain things in your life right now, something back then or something in that first chapter has something to do, or first page, let me not say chapter, first page has something to do with where you're going, or has something to do with how you are even reasoning or responding to things. So yeah, that's my point right there. Thank you. Definitely have enjoyed some things, and it brought results because I believed on myself that I was worth it. I love that. I love that. I love that. I truly love that. Believing that you are worth it, believing that you are capable. That is the most important thing ever. And it's so beautiful because the fact that you got to see your worth, or you believed in yourself, it's enough to really say, okay, I'm rejected, so what? How does that have to do anything with me or my way of doing things? This means that, okay, probably that person is not for me. It's the same thing as I come to you ladies. I'm like, okay, Laquita, Pindi, please buy my earrings and all that. And then one of you decides to reject and say, no, I don't want them. I don't like them. They're not nice. I don't like them. Will I feel like the earrings that I'm selling are not great, or the design that I have is not great? Will I feel like I should stop selling them because one person doesn't like them? Not everyone is for you. Not everyone is for you. Believe in what you do. Believe in yourself. Believe in knowing what's best for you, and know your worth. Know your worth. Know your worth. Thank you so much. Know your worth. Thank you so much for this point. And these are even some of the points that I've put down to say it's important for you to remind yourself of your worth. You need to remind yourself. So often when a situation happens, sometimes you want to immediately what? React without firstly trying to what? Deal with, or without trying to, pause a little bit and think about this whole situation that is happening at the time. So often it's important for you to remind yourself who you are and what your worth is and what you believe in, because only then you will get back to your senses and say, okay, no, thank you very much for this opportunity, I appreciate this, and yeah, and then you go away, right? Do you remember that Netflix approached what? Okay, what did it approach? No, someone. Yeah, is it Netflix and show? I don't remember. Was it Netflix or DSTV? I have that story. I've told that story, but I forgot. So I think the owner of Netflix suggested to do some kind of partnership with, I'm not sure which, like media broadcasting as well, which production, I forgot. And then when they rejected that, they started Netflix, and now look at where Netflix is. I need to go back because yeah, I forgot who was saying who to who and how that, yeah, I forgot. I never forget such things, especially tech stuff, because it's something that I love. But yeah, if you probably have an idea, you will know. So basically, such things like if someone undervalues what you're doing or rejects you because they feel like what you're doing or your vision is not valid, is not good, and everything. And the fact that they feel like that, it's okay for them to feel like that because they don't know what your vision is. They don't know what you want in life. They don't know the direction that you want to take in life. They don't know where you're gonna go. They don't understand that part. And it's fair enough to say that not everyone will know your vision better than you do and God, right? And the only time when people will see your vision or understand what you were saying is when things are happening, the results are actually happening. Now, being rejected then might result into you even getting bigger opportunities because the minute people see that, oh, so we rejected this person because we didn't see that vision. Now that we're seeing it, they come back to you with, you know, certain terms or certain offers, and you even get to say, this is me, I'm gonna work in this manner, you're gonna work based on these terms, you take it or leave it. So what that means is that I'll reject you guys, or you work with what I'm saying to you. So it becomes a choice. So you get my point. Now it's not always bad. So yeah, know your worth, believe in yourself, believe in your capabilities. The book and chapter analogy that you just made. Wow. Exactly. I mean, think about it. Think about it right now. Because the truth is, something about life is that we never forget. Like, you will never forget certain things in life. Actually, you don't forget everything in life, unless, of course, things that happen, you were probably hypnotized, and or maybe you were not in the right state of mind or something. You don't remember that. Or you were too young to even have a good memory at the time. So experiences in life that happens, you don't forget them. I beg to differ. And I'm saying this because the person that I am, I'm speaking from, I think of my childhood. There are memories that I don't remember of my childhood. And I guess it's fair enough. But I can remember certain things, certain times in my life, and all of that. From the youngest to being a little bit older, is not all memories, but what I'm trying to say is that there is some kind of memory. So, incidents that happen in our lives, and especially something that somehow adds value or somehow triggers our attention or somehow deals with our emotion, we will not forget those things, or we will not overlook those things. So in life, you don't forget, you choose to let go, or you choose to just not entertain certain things. So if you're out here and saying, I forgot about my ex, I never think about him. No, like my ex, no, never. You lying to yourself. You lying to yourself. A memory is something else. Someone can pass by, and that person could be wearing the same cologne that your ex used to wear, your ex-wife, your ex-husband, whatever used to wear. That scent can take you back, because something about scent, image, visuals, sound, they can trigger you, or they can take you back. Psychologists, therapists can tell you that. Meditator specialists, when you meditate, it can take you back to that. So don't say that you have forgotten something, is out of your mind, whatever. No, you choose to forget. So even if there is something that triggers you to remember that particular thing, if it's something that you don't want to keep in your memory, or to really focus on, you just ignore that. Or you could probably even see certain things that reminds you of something. But if it's a memory that wasn't even great, because remember how emotions work, your emotions somehow helps you in terms of what you should allow, what you shouldn't allow, what you should take in, what you should melt into, and what you should somehow distance yourself from. Your brain, your thoughts, your reaction, your emotions guide you. They guide you. Sometimes we want people to come from somewhere to come and tell us that you need to listen to your brain and listen to your thoughts and listen to your body, have a conversation with your body as to what does it say. Is it softening up, or is it rejecting this? Is it backing off? Sometimes we really want people to tell us things that we know ourselves. And having a conversation with yourself, or having a moment where you make it a point that you have time to yourself, you get to understand yourself, how you think, your body, your thoughts, like all of that. If you can give yourself that time to just listen to yourself, or just have that conversation with yourself, you will understand yourself. You will understand when certain things happen, what happens to your brain, your thoughts, and everything. And right in that moment, you will somehow have an idea as to, okay, how do I go about it? So I'm glad that you liked that book and chapter analogy, because I think it's the perfect thing. It's the perfect thing to say, this right here is a book of life. So a book of life, we will assume that it has endless pages until, of course, you are no more and that chapter closes. And I'm not sure much if it really closes, because what I hear is that there is life after death. God is there waiting for us. So probably a new chapter will be open. I don't know. But the chapter of living here on earth, when it closes, it means that you are not even able to open up that first page. You're probably going to start a new chapter. I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. Alrighty. Wow. I immediately thought it was going to be your current journal that you open open those blank pages. I got confused for a moment. No. No, 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 no. So this is a new journal that I got from, actually I'm gonna share that video. You guys will see it. It's a what it's a Girl Like Me challenge, fitness challenge, 28-day challenge. So they gifted me with a box of goodies, and this was part of my goodies. So it happened to just be close to me. That's why I was just making an example with it and all that. So yeah, I'm on the what? I'm on the third journal. Let me let's make this practical, Laquita. Let's make this practical. You know me. You know me, and keeping it real and practical, right? So these are my so these are currently the three journals, and obviously the fourth one and the fifth one, which is a prayer journal. So this one is full. And I love it. I love the bling. I love it's so nice. It's so me. It's pink. We are pinking there. We are pinking here, like we are pinking there. So I love it. It's so beautiful. It's full. Like it's full. The only what pages that are not full is just small portions maybe there, but it's full. And then we have this one. We have another one that I won't really show much, because yeah, this one as well is almost there. It's almost there. This one I don't want to even speak, because yeah, there's a lot in here. So I don't know. I don't know how many journals we're gonna end up having, guys. I'm just curious. How many journals are we gonna end up having in our lives? I believe that they're gonna pile up. Imagine because I love writing. There's something about writing. There's something beautiful about writing. So how many journals are we going to end up with? And I don't throw away journals. That's the thing about I don't. I do not. And I'm thinking that one day when my kids start just going through my stuff, they start reading what mom used to think, or how she used to think, or how she used to analyze things and all of that. I'm like, you know, so how many we're gonna have a pile like that? Aww. Oh, thank you so much, my queen. I love you more. I love you more. Listen, I've got much love for you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate, and I don't just appreciate, I can actually feel the love. So thank you. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I love you more. Know your worth and believe in yourself. Noted, madam. Listen, put a blue tick there, or a correct, or an NB. Know your worth and believe in yourself. I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way. I think I did a video a couple of years ago. It's somewhere on my channel. And I was telling my story of knowing your worth, the importance of knowing your worth, and not just to fall into a trap of just anything. So yeah, but that's the video that you can check. I don't know, maybe even 2 years from now, after you have watched my recent videos. So yeah, unless of course YouTube decides to suggest it to you and all that. But yeah, it is valuable, but it's okay. Weight is still fine. We can still work with what we have currently. So yeah. Listen, girl, listen. We are pinking all the way. We are pinking all the way. So now, we are, at least this kind of works, Nyana, because there's a bling and all of that. So this one, it's okay. It's okay. The colors kind of work. They kind of work together. But yeah, my pinking, I still love my pinking. Like, pinking is part of my brand. I mean, my company is it's pinking, and Real Talk with Ntabi is pinking somehow. So yeah, it's all about the pinking. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for the comments, guys. This was beautiful. I enjoyed reading your comments. Now, I'm going to share the last few points, which I wish for you to take. And I think we can wrap this video in just about how many minutes? 15 minutes to be exact, I guess. 15, 16, 17 minutes, because it's 1 hour, 12 minutes now. So I guess we can give it 15, 16 minutes, and then we wrap it up. And yeah, start with another task of the day. So I'm busy ironing the laundry. Guys, ironing. Who irons her laundry? Or do you guys have like helpers? I actually do it myself, because unless of course I'm hectic, I just can't. Like, ironing the laundry. I used to love ironing, but as our lives get so hectic, work and everything, it's like you cannot. And again, you just cannot stand seeing all the laundry in that full in basket or baskets sitting there. So, ish, the struggle is real. But anyway, we move, right? We move. We move. Now, I want you to take note of this last point, which I want you to use in your life. And as you overcome rejection, you think about them. All right. So the first one is, remember that rejection happens to everyone. Remember that rejection happens to everyone. Rejection happens to everyone. Pindi saying, ironing is me tonight, but I always couple my ironing with watching YouTube. That's even actually that's I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea because you get distracted while you are busy working. The next thing you look at the basket is empty because you are focusing on both this. Okay, okay, yeah. Well, I kind of do that as well sometimes, or watch a movie or something interesting. So yeah, I guess I'll have to do more of that because yeah, sometimes if you're just focusing on it, it's just stressful. But yeah, good luck with your ironing tonight. Yo, yeah, no. And my problem is that I leave my laundry to just pile up sometimes. I would just wash and everything. And then today, because like every week, I make sure that I also wash or change my bedding. And even if you change it to new bedding, there's no way that you can just pack away the other bedding without just washing it first. And after washing it, it means it needs to be ironed and put away. I care. Yeah, no. But anyway, we do it. Once it's done, it's done. So we complain at the same time we do it, and then after it's done, we are happy. Life goes on, right? And then it happens again, and then yeah. We never iron low. We just spray a little and put it in the dryer. What? I deserve to have a sip here. Yo. Mm, you know what? That is a great idea. That is a great idea. But now you know that those type of clothes, because I don't iron all my clothes. Obviously, there are those that I don't iron and everything, but there are those that you can't. And I think what makes clothes to just like be obviously wrinkled even more is because they pile up in a laundry basket, and all of them pile up. They're all like that. The time you have to iron, it's a mess. It's a disaster. I actually need that one. The is it the what is it? The steam iron. I need the steam iron so that I can stand and then go and then done. And then I just put it in the hanger and then I go and then after that I'm done. It will even be exercise. This bad eyes will go away because I'll be exercising. So yo, yeah, no, ironing is something else, guys. Yo, but anyway, and I used to love ironing. It's just that when it gets so busy, it becomes difficult to just keep ironing, yo, or being busy with that. Anyway, so yeah, so it's 1 hour 17 minutes, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then we are left with 13 minutes. So now remembering that rejection happens to everyone, it will help you to be at ease and to help you understand that life goes on. Just because you were rejected does not mean life has to stop. Just because that man that you loved dearly or that woman that you loved dearly, just because they rejected you does not mean that there is no one out there who's for you or someone out there who would love you and appreciate you. Yeah. Validate your feelings. Validate your feelings. And I liked this validating of your feelings because it somehow says that you are just clarifying exactly how you feel or how you react to something. When something is triggered, how do you validate that? How do you respond? And I think that was what I was saying, to say, do you have a conversation with yourself? Do you sometimes pause and just talk to yourself, talk to your body and mind, as you are thinking, as your thoughts and your mind thinks and everything, allow even the body language to even express itself as well, because you probably just focusing on the thoughts and everything, but you are not allowing every part of your body to also play a role. It's like it's a team. So basically, it's a team, guys. Your body is a team. It's a team that helps you to get to the next level. So if, for example, you work with a team of 5 people, so we would assume that with your body, you have your thoughts, you have your brain, you have your body, you have your heart, you have those feelings. So you guys are a team, so you need to work together. So if you decide to leave out someone else, it means that the heart will decide to think something else, because you are leaving me out. You are not allowing me to tell you, to express myself. You're not allowing me to feel and to make you see what I'm feeling, so that you can, somehow understand what I'm feeling, and start thinking right. So yeah, I hope that example makes sense. But yeah. My eye. Yeah, I hope that example makes sense. So look for the learning opportunity. So now the part where you look for a learning opportunity, this is a part where if you are rejected because there's probably some lack of skill or lack of ability to do certain things, which it happens sometimes, guys. As much as we know or believe in ourselves, there are certain things that we are not good at or the greatest at, and maybe it means that you need to learn certain things so that you can be accepted into something. You need to level up in what you know at the time to be able to be considered or and all that. Someone is calling me, guys. I'm gonna send them a message and say I'll call them. Please text me later. Yeah, so sorry about that. Hopefully they got the message, because I have a client who needs a website, and the conversation, gosh, what just happened? Okay, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. So sorry, guys. So I was saying that I had to, like, there's a client who needs a website, so he said he was gonna call me in the afternoon. So I would assume that's the person, because even the number doesn't show the name. So yeah, but it's all good. We are now left with 8 minutes, so it's fine. I will call them back. You know me and Max, right? So right about this moment, this is my moment, trying to show you my mug and try to show you how it blends in with the watch. I'm just saying. I can be dramatic sometimes. Eh? I can be dramatic at times. So yeah, guys, look for opportunities. Yeah, I just got a message from him. He just texted. So yeah, that's the person. I'll call him back immediately in the next 8 minutes. So yeah, look for opportunities, learning opportunities, because maybe the fact that you are rejected means that there's something that you needed to do better. There's something that you had to work on. There's something that you needed to somehow perfect, because often we think that what we know is enough, but sometimes it's not always enough. But it's an issue of you looking at what you can benefit in terms of learning from, sorry, excuse me, from learning from a particular incident. Sorry guys, I burped, I'm sorry. And when you burp, or when you swallow, and especially having a mic, the sound of it is so I don't know if you guys have noticed. Let me have a sip and tell me. That that sound, it's similar to that chip sound, like going. So yeah, I apologize for that. Purple and all shades of it are my favorite colors. Love that mug. Hey now, let me bring it on again. You were saying again? Let me have a moment. Yes, yes. Uh-huh. I love it too. Ah, man, thank you. You can take a picture, Laquita. You can take a picture now. Take a picture. Take a picture. Take a picture. Take a picture. I'm being funny. Okay, we left with 5 minutes. Mm, you see now. The nice things about having wipes next to you guys, not to get off topic, I'm recommending that you guys buy these wipes if you can. Because I just spilled coffee a little bit, and my office desk always needs wipes. So the campaign that I'm doing for Clinipedia also has these wipes, and they are the best. You would think that Domestos smells bad, and you would think that when you use this, the smell of bleach, whatever, this ones, they smell so amazing. So I'm plugging you. This is me plugging you, by the way. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So where were we? Where were we? So we spoke about reminding yourself your worth. Another thing that you can take note of is the fact that for you to overcome rejection, is to face your fears. Because sometimes you fearful of what could come or the results that could come. So facing your fears would mean that when you have experienced rejection and you still fear rejection, deal with that fear that you have and find a way to heal from it, because it will hinder you from moving forward or even doing better, or just moving past that particular incident, just because you are thinking of the worst. So try to shift your mindset and think of the best that could happen, as opposed to just you thinking about the worst, being fearful of the next step. Fear is what it kills your ability to become what you want. Fear steals away your joy. Fear steals away your opportunity into being something, into it steals away that joy in you. Because when you are fearful, whatever that you're doing, it's all because of fear. Like, you're doing it because you're fearful and everything. There is no joy at the end of the day. And where there's no joy, it's a bit of a problem, because you will always be frustrated and feel like I cannot amount to anything. Or even when you get to a level where you need to have a moment where you are happy and free and enjoy yourself and just appreciate living in that moment, fear will rock up and say and remind you to say, hey, did you forget that you and I are afraid of just giving in and just allowing ourselves to be, because somewhere after this 2 hours of being happy, something better is going to happen. So let's not think of the worst. Let's deal with the fears that we have and don't think of the worst, but believe that there is greatness, there is a positive way of doing things. And the other one is reject negative talks, reject negative self talk to yourself. So when you speak or when you communicate with yourself, reject speaking bad about yourself, reject saying that you are not capable, reject saying that the fact that you were not taken serious or no one bought into your idea sucks, or your idea is bad or something like that. So avoid negative self-talk. Avoid thinking that you are not good, or you are not the best, or you are not worth it. Avoid speaking negatively towards yourself. Negative self-talk is forbidden. Please comment and say negative self-talk is forbidden. Hashtag negative self-talk is forbidden. That's what I'm saying. It is forbidden. All right. So also, it's important for you to understand that even if you go through this worrying about rejection, there could be someone who can help you. You can get a professional who can help you if you are not able to help yourself, because we can't always do things ourselves. Sometimes we need a little bit of help somehow. So consider going to someone who can help you, see things in a better perspective. someone who can help you in terms of putting your thoughts in the right space, whether it's a therapist, someone who deals with mental health or whatever. Try to do that. Go and talk to someone about what you're experiencing. Maybe they can help you to see something better. All right. So with that said, we have come to the end of our video. Pindi says negative self-talk is forbidden. Thank you for putting it out there. And of course, the forbidden is in caps. Yes, we are emphasizing it. Negative self-talk is forbidden, guys. Forbidden, guys. So let's speak life. Let's speak positivity in our lives. Let's make sure that we instill nothing but positive thoughts in our lives, and let's allow ourselves to just not be okay with the fact. I mean, let's allow ourselves to understand that not everyone will like what we're doing, not everyone will see what we're doing. And let's also be honest with ourselves to say there will be times when you are doing something, but that thing that you're doing, it's actually not how it's supposed to be done, or you lack a particular skill. Learn to understand when you need to better yourself, when you need to do better, or when you need to just what somehow look at a different way of doing things. So that is what I'm saying. And with that said, thank you so much, guys. Let me love and leave you and call my client just to find out what I need to do for them. And business is business, eh? When someone says, hey, I need a website, I mean, when we talk about websites, so guys, website is like the biggest project or the biggest project in my business that brings in more money. It's websites. So when someone says, I need a website, so I need to jump in and go make sure that I attend to that. You get my point, right? And I believe that you guys have an way also, or you have an idea what I'm talking about, especially if you have a business or you have a service that you offer. When you know, right? When you know. Laquita says positive talk only. I couldn't type forbidden words. Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. I know you probably even said it as I was saying. Negative self-talk is forbidden. You probably said it with your mouth. So it's okay. It's all right. I see it. I see it. Negative self talk is forbidden. Even better, guys, after this live, or you can just go to the main comment section and just copy your comment and put it there. Negative self talk is forbidden. So, whoever is going to watch after the live, obviously, they won't be able to just, or they won't go to the chat and see the chat. So, they'll just go to the comments. So, the minute they see negative self talk is forbidden, on the comment section, they'll probably have even interest to find out more and binge in and watch this video so that they know what do they mean when they said negative self-talk is forbidden. All right. So yes, guys, so thank you so much. I love you guys always. I feel the love. I connected so much with you guys, and I appreciate you guys making time to be here. And like I always say, I love you always, and I wish nothing but the best for your endeavors. Whatever that you guys are doing, may God shine His light through you guys. And may we grow, may we do the best that we can. And of course, make today count, right? That is what I can say. And yeah, from me to you, I love you. And I know that when I talk and talk, I don't finish. So let me just jump into it and say bye. I love you.